We just finished a new album with Dave Cobb producing. And as you know, Dave's the hottest producer in Nashville. He produces Chris Stapleton. He does Jason Isbell. He did the Highwomen, the four girl singers that were all extremely talented solo artists. And but he also did the Elvis movie soundtrack. It was out a couple of years ago. But Dave Cobb, he loves that music, that retro feel of when rock and roll first began. People of the Jerry Lee Lewis, Little Richard, Fats Domino, and Chuck Berry, and Elvis. And it's that kind of music that where music was, and I remember that time. So, young producers that's recreating those sounds is real stimulating as a singer.
William Lee, I have to interrupt you just for a second because you're mentioning all these, iconic artists and including Elvis. Did you ever meet Elvis, and how did that, music, did that play a big influence for you in your music career?
It did when I was in high school. When I was in high school, it was Elvis hit, and it was when he hit, it was when rock and roll hit. And I played guitar at that time, and I learned some Elvis songs. And at the school parties and masquerade parties and all these other parties, I would bring the guitar and sing "Don't Be Cruel" and "You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog." And yeah, but yeah, Elvis was a hero to a lot of people, and he, along with Little Richard and Chuck Berry, and again, it was a lot of great old groups, the Coasters and people that early rock and roll. It was a lot of harmony type groups, it was it was at the Coasters. Why is everybody always picking on?
Yeah.
Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
But yeah, group singing was big in pop music at one time. So you never know, it's going to come around again at some point.
Yeah.
No, that's a great point. And, William Lee, in addition to the Oak Ridge Boys and all the great artists and groups that you just mentioned, there's another group that you're a part of that I want to make sure we touch on, because I love the music from William Lee Golden and the Goldens. What's it like having the opportunity to make music with your sons and your grandkids? How cool is that?
It's awesome, man. Again, I had a vision to do this back when I was down back at the farm for a week, hanging out in the back fields, and where I had first riding those tractors and could see where I wanted to be and where I wanted to go. And but I was back there, and then I realized, I wanted to do this thing with my family, with my sons and my grandkids, and I couldn't get them all together. I was on the road 150 days with the Oak Ridge Boys, and they were solo careers. And so pandemic hit, we're all sent home. And so we were told, to go home. We were unessential. We were part of the unessential people that they said, go home and lock your doors and put on 2 masks and watch your television. So I watched Negative Hate for about 2 or 3 weeks, and then I turned all that crap off. But I had to get away from all the hate on television. got my family together. They said we couldn't get together over 10 people. So I got my family to come over to the house here. We'd get around the piano with the instruments and we'd sing old songs. On Sundays, we'd sing gospel songs. During the week, we'd sing old classic country songs. And by the end of the week, we're singing good old time rock and roll songs. And we wound up with the family recording 34 songs and harmonizing. They're great, talented musicians. Chris had toured with the Oak Ridge Boys for 17 years playing drums. And he also played rhythm guitar, acoustic guitar with them for a year prior to that. But yeah, to play with my kids and record with them and go out and do concerts with them. We stretch out and with the family and kind of do longer shows maybe, but we enjoy going out and let the band jam and stretching, get these great old songs and stretching them and let the bands do good flow to go out and but yeah, we do like 2-3 hour shows, hours.
Well, you must be very proud to have your children and grandchildren inherit your talent and to see them flourishing on their own as well. And then
It is.
Yeah.
And my grandson Elijah, he's on a scholarship at Brown University, and he's been involved with music since he was a little kid, but he's really come on strong. And he sang 2 or 3 songs with us on this albums that we did. And in the summer, he will be touring with us all summer. And then sometimes he flies in on weekends. If we're doing a weekend show with the family, he'll come in and join us. And Elizabeth, my granddaughter, she plays violin, incredible fiddle player, and she's also an incredible singer. And so to have her on stage, it kind of stops the show sometimes, but it's great to have my kids and grandkids together. And again, when we get to playing and singing, we don't want the evening to end.
Yeah, well, I can understand. And for folks who haven't had a chance to check it out, if you go to whether it's William Lee Golden and the Golden's website or YouTube, there's a lot of great videos out there where you can see and hear exactly what William Lee's talking about right now. And some songs will bring back some memories. And you guys put a unique spin on it, and the harmonies really are impeccable in those songs.
Yeah, we got 4-part harmony. There's 2 young bass singers that we use. Aaron Lee McCoon recorded the 34 songs with us. And Tim Duncan, he also sings and tours with us. Sometimes we'll have 2 bass singers out on the road with us, touring together. And the crowd loves it, man. It's like those guys are incredible singers too. And they sing solos, and we back them up. But it's just an evening of fun and taking us back down memory lane as we get to share songs that inspired us to do what we do.
William Lee, before we go, I want to touch on one more thing that's really important, and that's your book, Behind the Beard. First of all, love the title. We can see what inspired that. When you wrote the book with Scott England, was there anything that, say, you learned about yourself that you didn't know, or anything that you were surprised by?
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't feel like I was a writer, but Scott had hit me up to write 3 or 4 or 5 times, and I wasn't quite sure. And again, it was during the pandemic that he called me again, and we talked. And I said, "Hey, man, I don't have anything else to do here, so I was down at the farm when he called, and I was down there for about a week or so, and I was going to be there for 4 or 5 more days. And I invited him to drive down, see where I really come from, and just go where it all started. He did, and he come to the farm and met my sister, and she opened up all the old books, and then he talked to my first wife, and she opened up all the old books, and she got into some stories I really was not going to talk about in that book, and about my unfaithfulness and my girlfriends. And anyhow, it's a long story, but I can't deny what happened in my life, and I don't pretend. I probably make more mistakes than most people, but I still love everybody, and sometimes being on the road 150 to 200 days a year. In some relationships, it can put a strain, you know. I mean, people feel like they're missing out on things by sitting waiting, but there's a lot of different things, and sometimes it can make relationships stronger. Sometimes it can pull them apart. But I always enjoyed the part that when you're home, it'd be like it's a honeymoon time, you know. And but anyhow, you couldn't wait to be home. And but yeah, the book. Scott was good. He would come visit and sit on the front porch during the pandemic. He'd bring his legal pad with his little recorder. He'd set it on the table between us, and he'd ask questions that he had brought on his little pad. And we'd talk for about 2 hours, and then he'd say, "Well, I'll see you in a couple of days." And he said, "Give me a call." And so come over and spend 2 hours, you know, 3 or 4 days a week sometimes. Sometimes it'd be maybe once a week or twice a week. But he'd come with questions, and I told him, I said, "Man, you're welcome to talk to anybody else that we talk about here. Get their side of the story." In situations, two people can see something and they both see something different, or they remember something different. And so he did, man. I said, talk to anybody, and he did. And that's where, yeah, my first wife, she sure, boy, she told some things that I wasn't going to get into. But again, it's what happened, and I have made a lot of mistakes, but
Well,
sometimes
it
you learn
happens.
through your mistakes. So occasionally, sometimes I was slow learning though, and I kept making mistakes.
Yeah,
But
but I
I
think
think,
that comes with the
yeah,
territory too. You said about touring and being away so long, and it's not an excuse, but it is a reality that it's more challenging to keep the connection and to resist. Listen, when I've been to concerts and I've watched women throwing their underwear up on the stage at artists, and it's like, you know, you have to be at a point in your life where you really are in a strong enough place to resist that. And, it's part of the
Yeah,
human condition to grow through and learn those lessons, and like you said, you're not perfect. And maybe you made decisions that if you had to do it again, maybe you would do it differently. But, at that point, unfortunately, that's where you were. And, you learn from it.
yeah,
well, and not only that, William Lee, I think the other thing that I really respect about you is the fact that, I don't know of any artist that is more genuine, more authentic. And, you admit that you weren't perfect. There's some mistakes you've made, but you said, go out, talk to them, get there. I mean, I don't think there's too many people that would do that.
I
They would
like
just
that.
want to tell their side, but there are multiple sides. So again, it's just more evidence to what I've always believed in your authenticity and how genuine you are. And I just want to thank you for that.
I appreciate that, Bill, and I try to be. You know, it's just I'm who I am because of where I come from, and it's my family that raised me, and they set an example of honesty and integrity, and I never in my life ever heard my mother or my father yell at each other or curse, use a curse word in the house, angry about whatever. Never heard them curse. Of course, I didn't take after that side. I played football, and I had a coach that kind of taught us a lot of gridiron language that sometimes kind of seemed to fit the situation.
Well, I also just want to reiterate everything Bill said. We appreciate who you are first and foremost, because
Thank you, Rose.
that authenticity comes through really strongly. And your music and the legacy that you're leaving to maybe the next new breed of Oak Ridge Boys, who knows? But
Yeah.
I'm sure, yeah, that your fans will appreciate this farewell tour, and then whatever you're going to do with your family band.
Yeah, it's just I'm enjoying singing with the Oak Ridge Boys, and I'm enjoying singing with my family. And so it's not just like trying to love two women, but it is certainly pleasing on both hands.
Well, we really, really appreciate you taking the time out of your very busy schedule to come and talk to us and share your story and your vision with us and
Yes.
all of your fans. And we wish you all the best on the farewell tour and in all your upcoming music. And folks, thank you also for tuning in. We appreciate your support. And we're going to leave you with a song from William Golden and the Goldens.
Thank you, Rosie.
You're welcome.
And Bill.
Yeah, he would have been counting about that if he didn't get that thing.
Yeah, I know it's a lot easier looking at her than me. I get it. But
folks, thanks. Oh, go ahead, Bill. I'm sorry.
The Miller family is, the Millers are a prominent family in Bruton where I grew up. The high school is T.R. Miller. It was one of the founders. They were timber barons. And anyhow, I just, to the Millers here, to Rosie and Bill, thank y'all for this opportunity to get to know y'all.
Oh, well, it is our pleasure. Thank you so much. And folks, thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Send me the pillow that you dream on. Don't you know that I still care for you? Send me the pillow that you dream on. So darling, I can dream on it too. Each night while I'm sleeping, oh so lonely, I'll share your love in dreams that once were true. Send me the pillow that you dream on. So darling, I can dream on it too. just a memory's all that's left.